Aquarius, this is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and we are here to talk about this week. So every Sunday I put out a video to help you prepare for your energy for the week ahead. It's been hard for me to get it out on Sunday due to editing and then loading. It hasn't been very predictable, but it does come out in the week. So I'm hoping, I readjusted my filming schedule, so I'm hoping that it is better for us. For this month, we are going to be using the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. Every month I'm going to choose a different tarot deck for you to choose from. I really love this. Such a cute little deck. Okay, guys. So the astrology for this week, I'm just going to shuffle while we're talking. The astrology for this week's a little insane. We have a very agitated full moon in Aquarius on the 3rd. It's a sturgeon moon, and it is in a square with Uranus and Taurus. So that means a lot of very, very, very intense energy. So let's talk a little bit about Aquarius energy and Taurus energy and try to make you understand what that square is all about. So Aquarius energy has to do with your social circles, your friendships, any kind of networking you do, it's future technology, it's networking, it is astrology. Excuse me, I have a sore throat again, so I apologize for that. I have allergies. And then it is about, it's the spot in your chart where you're just a little bit unique, you're different, you have quirks there. If you know your natal chart, it's about where you're often misunderstood, where you like to break free from like traditional thinking in that particular area of your chart. It's a very progressive part of your chart, so it's definitely something you want to understand, like which house Aquarius is in. And then it is in a square with this Taurus energy, and Taurus energy has to do with what we want to possess in life. And it has to do with our sensitivities, all of our senses, our senses in life, and then possessions. It has to do with what we want to possess in the material realm, how we pleasure ourselves kind of in the material realm, what we consider, luxury or items that we want to attain, collect, that sort of stuff. Mother Earth is very Taurian as well, and just basic needs, meeting those needs and exceeding those needs and getting to that next level in life. It has to do with an area where we need to remain grounded in, because we can be a bit excessive in that particular area. But it's also an area where we're incredibly stubborn. We can be jealous of other people's, what they have, if we want it in this particular area of our charts. And we need a strong sense of security where we want it to be a little bit more predictable. It's the most conservative part of your chart. It's where routine is really good for you. And it is where you are kind of slow to move, slow to progress in that part of your chart. On a big scale, on a global world wide scale, these two energies are clashing. So you can imagine our sense of security, our sense of our future is kind of riding on this time right now. This is a pivotal time. This is a time in history that will change everything. It will change the way that that we progress moving forward in our future. And it is going to be where we develop our technologies from, because as we have this very new world, this new norm, technology is going to have to match it, and the way that we move through our world and the way that we want to build any kind of wealth is going to be reliant on this particular part and time in history. So I think of things like working from home, I think about, technology of like being able to like telecommute is going to start to get more activated. And obviously we know that we are in the middle of something that is changing everything. And so there's going to be a lot of medical, I would say like kind of probably like tracking software. I think that there's going to be where they are being able to control things a little bit better, where we're going to be connected more, where there's going to be a lot more worldwide interaction as soon as we get through this political atmosphere that we're in. But it's in a square, so Mother Earth is really cranky, and it has to, and our future is on the line here. And so there is a lot of tremendous pressure to break free from normal thinking. If we're misunderstood, to the absolute fiery need to be understood. It's where we really butt heads, and we confront our differences, and we're really rigid in these thinking processes, because this is the future. It's an idea that's developing, but it's also in a square with traditional thinking and the way that things should always be done, and comfort zones and those types of things are really kind of just hitting head to head right now. So we just want to understand, if we can look at this from the big picture, everything that's happening right now is destined to happen, because we cannot stay in this level of thinking. Our norms are no longer going to support the future and the way that our future needs to progress. And so all of these political fighting and bickering back and forth, as frustrating as it is, it's actually activating the way that our future, where we're going to start progressing in our future. So I try to look at it that way. It's very hard not to get emotionally riled up in this energy, because we're really stuck in that difference. When we confront something where we don't fit, where it doesn't feel normal, where it's incredibly different from anything we've ever encountered, where we feel misunderstood, we want to fight about it. We want to fight, and we want to prove that we're right and they're wrong. And this is a struggle between trying to keep things exactly the way they've always been, and the struggle is to progress and move forward with things. So you have people, unfortunately, in political offices that have their antiquated thinking, and it's not progressive thinking. And we have people who are progressive thinkers trying to get into a position of power where they can progress the future, because that is the direction it's going in, whether we want it to or not, whether we politically agree with it or not, whether we think that's the way that it should go. It doesn't matter, because fated wise, it's going to progress. If you look at the 70s, when we came out of the 50s and the 60s, it was supposed to that time in history is much like this time in history, especially in the astrology. So if you take a look at it, we're fighting for things that need to change, and things did need to change. It was a very, very oppressive time, and it has led to lots of freedoms, which is very Aquarian, right? The age of Aquarius is huge. This full moon in Aquarius is the activation of the age of Aquarius. This is it's striking that match, if I can say it that way, because I believe that we're in the beginning of the age of the Aquarius. And the age of the Aquarius is, guys, nothing is going to feel comfortable. Aquarius energy is not a comfortable energy. It's an energy where we get fired up about, and we are straying away from those social traditional mindsets. And so just think of it like a time where we just, I don't know, I'm a Leo on the cusp of Cancer, so the opposing energy of Leo is Aquarius, right? So right now, that's why we have a full moon, is because we have the sun in Leo, and we have the opposing energy is in Aquarius. And so this is the moon, which is our emotions, like opposing, directly, exactly the sun. So that's your soul and your emotions. And it's a shove, it's well, I guess it's a push. It's not a shove. I would consider the square in Uranus to be a shove. So this is just something that has to happen. And it's a very progressive time for people who are trying to change their futures for the better. They're wanting to make changes. I have seen in the last week, 3 people in my company who have been there for oodles of years. They have all got jobs that are getting them somewhere where they want to go. They all got promotions. They all got, they strive for things and they got them. And that all happened within this week. And it all happened on Friday. Like all this stuff happened on Friday. So people who are wanting to progress their futures and wanting to move forward and wanting to do something super exciting, I think it's really progressive for those people. I gotta take a little sip of coffee. Okay. So this week we have Mercury is going to move into Leo, and we have Venus is going to move into Cancer. Mercury in Leo is just a very, it's a very fiery energy. Mercury is our mind. Leo is the sun. And so it is a very spicy, you're going to see a lot of, to be honest with you, what you're going to see is just a lot of really childish behavior out of people. It's going to come from that stance where you get in, where it's just like your point of view and you don't want to listen to anybody else, and you're going to fight about it, and you're just going to be immature. And I don't think all Leos are immature, but I'm just saying in this particular energy, because it's in a square with this Uranus and Taurus and this stubborn and rigidity, you're going to see a lot of very childish behavior. And I see it all. I've been seeing it building in US's government, where they're just acting like a bunch of petulant children, fighting and about, well, I'm on this side of it and you're on that side of it and you're not on my side, and all this little stuff that used to happen in high school. It's like, oh my God, it's like a high school all over again. It's making me just infuriated. Because when you're a mature energy looking at this, you're like, what the heck? Why can't they just somehow meet in the middle? Yeah, it's really irritating. Okay, then we have Venus in Cancer. This is not the best energy for Venus, because Venus in Cancer energy it's very wet. It's very heavy for this beautiful energy, Venus. And so a Venus in Cancer's energy can just make you incredibly emotionally guided. And so you have a tendency to be kind of up and down in relationships. It's going to go with your mood about how you are in your closest bonds and unions. So if you have a particularly moody day, you might take those moods out on some of your closest bonds and unions. But it's just also your sense of security, your safety zones, your comfort zones are going to be very, very important to you as we move forward into Venus and Cancer, because that is where I think you're going to feel the best about everything. It's just also a place where emotions will run high, your home. Because it's going to be the place where you need to recharge, and you need to do some self-love and some self-care, which is going to be incredibly, incredibly important. It's going to be important for you moving forward as we absorb a lot of crazy, fiery, combustible, just absolute rigid and uncomfortable situations, and information is going to be coming in right and left that's going to fire you up. So going home and soothing your emotions is going to be very important, because if you're out in the world getting all caught up in this, you're just going to get caught up in it, and it's going to be one emotional hot mess if you are a person who engages in this particular energy. Full moons in Aquarius is an area where you can culminate and end if you use the energy to your advantage. It's a very progressive energy. So you can let go of old antiquated ways of thinking, and you can move forward with embracing your differences and trying to capitalize and to work with your unique talents. And it's where really good ideas can come from. You know, or if you want to start progressing your future, it's a really great place to activate your future, any of your goals, any of that, anything where you didn't think it was possible. It's entirely possible when you get into all of this Aquarius energy. The reason why the square is so significant in Uranus and Taurus is because it is just squaring off with everything having to do with you, like your personal planets. And I mean, this is a place where you tend to lose power. This is a place where it could be, like a work situation. It could be a place where it could be in your career. It could be a place where you need to progress, or things from a global level. Everything needs to progress. It needs to move out. We need to start embracing new technologies and new things to help us move forward with what is coming down the pike, right? But on an internal level, on our personal planet level, which would be the Mars, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Moon type energies, it's a place where you have to strive and to exceed the norm in your life. And so it's a place where you deserve to be successful, because it's like the thing that you bring to the table that's very different. And it's why we have, President Trump is a very unique and different thinker. And I'm just saying this, as in the middle as I can. And his ideas they just seem so way out there. And it's very, very hard because people want things to stay the way that they've always been in government, because that makes us feel comfortable. And this time in history is just not about making anybody feel comfortable. It's about breaking things down that have been going on for far too long. I'm not his biggest fan, but that doesn't mean that I can't look at this from the big picture, from an astrological picture, and not understand why everything is going down the way it is, because energetically it's being guided to go down that way. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's not for me to agree or disagree. It's for me to understand this, from like a scientific point of view, I guess, from like a kind of an elevated level of thinking. Okay, so that is a little bit about the astrology this week. It's a very intense week. So here's things that I can say that we can do to stay in the high vibe of this week. Strive for things. Strive for things you want. If you want to make a progressive change, get together with a bunch of people, form groups, form networks of people. Go on social media, start GoFundMe pages, do anything that's not just about you, but that makes a difference in the world. That is some of the best vibes that could absolutely attract a lot of attention to you, if that's what you want. If you were like, dude, this is a storm that I don't want to be in, I am just going to lay low, then your home is going to be your best bet. It's a place that you can control. It's an environment where you feel like you have the most control in. If that's a place where you have a lot of unrest right now, then it's a place where, unfortunately, there might be some big changes for sure. And because, you're going to want to have some safety and security. You're going to feel very guided to have that in your life. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to be right back with pile number 1. Thank you so much for tuning into the astrology side of things. Hi guys, thank you so much for choosing pile number 1. So you guys chose the Wheel of Fortune. I'll give you like a little bird's eye view there. I thought this was super duper cute. So the Wheel of Fortune is 10 in the major arcana. And so if you look at the numerology of the Wheel of Fortune, it is the 1, the individual. So it's 1 plus 0, so it's technically just 1. So this is bringing it back to the ending you. So this is a lot of focus on yourself. But this is also a focus on the next phase of your life. You know, it's such a cute little card. See how there's a lot of support around this individual? It's just too cute. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune suggests cycles. It suggests going in a cycle and reaching a culmination, reaching clarity about that cycle. Okay, the very next card we have is for you, you guys get the water energy, which is the otter here. And so water energy, we talked a lot about what's going on. We know that Venus is going to be moving into Cancer. So this might have a lot to do, because I see all the people in this card. It might have a lot to do with like relationships, friendships, social networks that you have built around you. It's going to have a lot to do with the people in your life. I feel like that's the energy that you guys are tuning into. So let's read a little bit about the otter. The otter, unobstructed joy, playfulness, and contentment, perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck. The otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child, available to us at any age. They have the giddiness and reverence of life itself. Without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism, imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. That's super cute. Because I do think how cute this is. I mean, this person just has a ton of people just loving and supporting this person. They're all like in it. You look at their faces, are all happy. So definitely I see the busyness of the bee. I just see maybe very busy this week in your social circles. Maybe you are kind of wanting to get out. Maybe what you need is to get really fired up and just have some playtime. Like, one of the things that's really fun about this full moon in Aquarius is if you tend to be a person who likes to stay home and be just much more of an introvert, it might be just so cathartic for you to be out and having fun with friends. Kind of get you out of your head, get you out of your emotions. Okay guys, let's look at the tea for the week. What area in your life is being aspected? And you guys have success. Yes. I look at success not just in the material realm. I look at success as just feeling good about where your life is. Okay, so we have grapes. Time to go out and have some fun. Oh my God, you definitely need to get out of the house. I mean, you need to go hook up with your friends. You need to go and just have some playtime. Peacock, beware of great pride. Well, that can definitely happen in all this Aquarius stuff. If some of you, I don't know, kind of want to strut your stuff, you kind of just think you're kind of like hot crap, like... then you want to stay away from that type of stuff. I did pick some more cards just so that we have a little bit more variety. Door, opportunities are waiting for you. Well, we talked a lot about this in the astrology side of things. This is a very progressive time. It's a very energetic time about your future. So if some of you are wanting to strive, this is the absolute energy to do that. And a friend or connections you have might be helpful. We have the dragon, beware of self-delusion. Yeah, don't get so hung up on the fact that, you're where you're supposed to be. You don't need to do anything to progress your life. This has to do a lot with that Uranus square, where you just get caught in rigid thinking and you don't think. If some of you are caught in an area where you are not embracing rigid thinking, you're kind of being shoved into this progressive thinking and the future. And we have staff. You will be taken care of in difficult times. Ooh, good. Don't you love seeing that? Like, you have a lot of good juju. Not gonna lie here, guys. Not gonna lie. We're gonna do the next thing we're gonna do is, ooh, that is a very intense card. So this is soul cards. This is soul cards too. And okay, a couple things come to mind when I'm looking at this. For one, you need to do a lot of things to take care of yourself internally, so that you can attract the green. I'm seeing the green here, so that you can attract the success that is like right here. It starts from the inside out. That's like the message I'm getting. Everything starts from the inside out, and then you radiate and attract how you are taking care of yourself, how you want things to be. So let's go ahead and just figure out what planets for you are being activated. You guys are going to be really susceptible to the energy of astrology, because Aquarius season, anytime Aquarius season happens or Aquarius energy is activated, it's a very progressive time, which has to do a lot with just being really, and with the square in Taurus, you guys are really, really sensitive to energy fluctuations. Just an FYI. Okay. First one we have here is we have the Magician, a major arcana, and that's in Mercury. So Mercury is moving, it's going from Cancer and moving into Leo on the 4th. Okay, moving into Leo. So yeah, your environment, you need to be centered. You need to be focusing on yourself. This is a very, think about that one. Oh my God, why do we keep getting this card? Like, I'm so frustrated. I hate this card. 5 of coins. I was hoping that with Aquarius season, we would stop seeing that card. Again, some more Mercury energy and some more Taurus energy, but in reverse, which it feels to me like you feel stuck in your circumstances, like you don't feel like you have control over this feeling of loss, or this feeling of not having enough in the material realm. But you have the Magician here, and the Magician to me just means that you do have the ability to manifest something more. I think you might have a moment this week. This is midweek. This is the beginning of the week. You do have the power and the passion and the fire to yield what you want, bringing that into the beginning of the week. But by midweek, I think you start to get really susceptible to your environment and the chaos and the drama that is around money, career, stability, and that sort of stuff. Then we have our final one right here. Oh, damn. Okay. We have the 3 of coins. Sorry, I have a sore throat a little bit, so my bad. So the physical realm is going to be a somewhat stressful. This has to do with your job to me. This has to do a lot with people valuing you, people recognizing the work that you're doing. It could be a conflict or an issue at work where you're not getting the recognition you desire. But it definitely feels very work related. But it also could have to do with your career, the progression of your career. It could be somewhat stagnant, which could be very, very frustrating. Let's see what these cards have to say. Because Okay, the physical realm is a hot mess, and money and finances are very stressful. And it could be a time that pushes you to want to move forward with some career aspirations, some sort of promotion, something in your job where you feel like you deserve more recognition, ask for a raise, those sorts of things. You may be just getting to an end of like tolerating a situation. Yeah. Aw. So we have the 8 of Swords. God, a lot of conflict here. We have 5 of Wands. That's just some, it could be just some, you know, getting competitive. We have the 3 of Pentacles again. 3 of Pentacles is very emphasized for you. Okay. I love this. We have the King of Swords. This is a perfect energy to have in Aquarius to help guide you through this energy. The Magician and the King of Swords can help you disconnect and help you engage and try to take control of the situation. It can make you very resourceful. It can make you very mentally agile in this energy and want to take control and to put this in the direction you wanted to go in. So this could be a shove for you to take control of your situation a little bit more. It's definitely an area in your life where I think that you want to build some financial security, some wealth, some financial independence. I can feel like you have a really good idea maybe, and you're trying to get people to get on board with that idea. I see that as well. We have the Ace of Pentacles. I love the Ace of Pentacles because it looks like, okay, it might be a project where you have to go back to the basics, which is kind of ego-based, so we don't really like doing that. But it could be a project where you kind of scale it back a little bit and you just, you look at it from that point of view. We are in the Wheel of Fortune. That is 1 + 0, 1, taking it back. Because you are starting that new cycle. It could be just be kind of like a rewind, and I don't know why I'm thinking of that, and kind of just like breaking it down to the basics so that you can get it to go. It also could mean you are really going to move forward with something that you've wanted for a really long time. You can't do it where you're at, so it might be something where you have to, you know, change the way that you're doing it. And then the Knight of Swords, which is taking action. You have the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So this is defending an idea. This could be, you know, implementing an idea. It could mean, you know, finally taking action and moving toward something that you feel very guided to move forward in. Okay. I'm just curious what your guys' dice is. Oh, so you have the 3rd house is emphasized, and you have Mercury again. Gosh, Mercury. This means your guys, you have a lot of Mercury cards. Mercury is going to be in Cancer, moving into Leo. So all of that is going to be happening toward beginning of the week. You did have this Magician. You do have the ability to make some very progressive energy and to start manifesting something in the physical realm, in your immediate environment, a change that's important to you. We have Taurus energy and we have 3rd house. So this is maybe you need to get people on board with an idea. Maybe you need to have some conversations with people about what is going on financially, or having to do with your financial security or your success or your career. It might be something to do with that. It's definitely a conversation. Okay. Alrighty, let's start taking a look at your oracle cards here. Okay, so we have 22, intuition, 22, we have 11, and we have 2, I think of as well. 11 being one of those incredibly beautiful, spiritual, kind of gorgeous numbers. And then we have 2. 2 is balance, harmony, but it's also 2 people. So it's definitely a conversation. You need to follow your intuition. This orange is about fire and passion. So it is about the heat of the energy. It's about the fiery energy in here. It's about taking action about something intuitively, because you're going to be guided. You're going to be very, very receptive to all of this energy right here. We have perseverance. Okay, and we have, I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. You definitely can. If you guys have something on your mind, something that's very important to you, even, and I just thought of this, like this feels like something very competitive. Like you might be competing with others for maybe some job promotion, for some, you know, or you might have to fill out a resume and you're competing against people. So you're having to beef up that resume. It's definitely a time where I think you could be a little bit in your head. You could have been reserved. It could have been something you're very sensitive about. But it is time to move forward in that area and to persevere and keep doing, and just, it's time. I am going to do this. Okay. I'm going to move these over here so we have more room. Okay. Okay. So we have perseverance, freedom. Freedom of choices, freedom to be heard, the freedom to make decisions right now. It could be freeing yourself from something is going to be very, very important in all this Aquarius energy. It's a time where if some of you may have felt confined by a circumstance, confined by a belief system, confined by social norms of any kind that has to do with work, positions of authority, it has to do with anything like that, you're going to defy that norm and you're going to want to free yourself up in there for sure. And this is a cleanse. Ooh, I love this. Okay. Home is going to be something where I think is going to be a very perfect place for you, because you're going to need to diffuse all this energy. You are being asked to go out into the world and to make your presence known and to stand out and to be unique and different and embrace all of that stuff. So you're going to need a little self-love, a little self-care here, you know. And then we have birch. That is our tree. So I'm going to read a little bit about that, because this is the luminal spirits. So we have the birch. The birch is associated with beginnings, flexibility, communication. We had 3. And cleansing. Oh my God, so wild how cards do that. It's cleansing. Birch is calling you out, man. Okay. Finding its way to besoms and other tools used to purify and prepare the way the seasons change. The birch tree is known to be a pioneer tree, as it is the first to take root after disaster strikes and lands changes dramatically, emerging from landscapes battered by fire or mudslides. The unusual bark can look like eyes, making us feel like the birches are watching us. Messages: now is the time to take advantage of an opportunity that is in front of you. Manifest birches. Eyes are upon you. Be mindful of what you do and say, because for better or for worse, you are being observed, and shed what is unnecessary so that you may begin again. You are trending and new and fresh ground, on fresh ground. Oh, no pressure. No pressure. You're just being looked at. People are observing you, you know. Maybe you might be being considered for something. So this is a time when we get super, super fired up and we do say things offhanded or shocking, like that can be shocking. Don't do that, because people are watching. Very important people are watching for you. Okay, we got our letters. Okay, I'm gonna do this because I like it on the black background. Okay, let's take a look here, guys. Okay, so I noticed a boy immediately. Don't know why. I see venting. Don't vent. If you vent at home, please, guys. Don't vent to people. What can happen is people can stab you in the back. I think of the 3rd house, and I think of the birch trees warning. Be very mindful. Really get, like, I think of this. Somebody could be competing for the same job. Just don't say anything to anybody that you don't want somebody to use against you. I don't know why I got that warning. I just thought, don't do it. Oh, I almost thought we had friends, but we don't. We don't have an A. What? Oh gosh, you guys, this is something that is so good to do right now. Go have some fun. Get out, go play with, go out there and play, get involved with your social circles. Go have some fun, be playful, like your little otter spirit here this week. I am just not, I love it because some of you guys are like, oh, I saw this. I have a dear friend, and she always sees stuff on here, so I love her when she puts them down. If you guys find more, put it in the comments, because I love seeing the words that you find. Like, it just, I don't know, I think it's fun. Oh, I see more. You deserve more. I see that. I don't know why, but this is coming to mind. I see hive. And then for some reason, if you can see it right there, this little bee, beehive, busy as a bee, more hive. Very interesting. I see Tom. I don't know if that would be a significant name for you, but Tom is here. Ren. Okay, I will. BF, I think a best friend. I'll keep my eye on it, see if I see anything else in here, because sometimes when I just move on, it helps me kind of see. Let's look at your guys' numbers. And did you guys know that this week is 50 years ago there was the Apollo mission where we landed on the moon? That is so Aquarian, by the way. Just let you know. Okay, so we have 67, 28. I love 28. We have 14. We have 10. I just think of 10 and 10, but that's just synchronicities I look for. We have 22. Okay, look at this. We have 22 and you have 22. Don't you think that's cool? I do. I don't know. I look for these little synchronicities because I think it just confirms things. And we have 33 and we have 3. We have 3 in a different pile. Sorry, my bad. Okay, guys, so let's do your charms. That's all we have left. I'm going to put this here for a sec. Okay. I really dig. I'll go get that. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, whew, I got it. Oh, hello, they, them. Okay. Could be some of the things that's very unique and different about you is your sexuality, your preferences. wanting to be accepted for your unique lifestyle, maybe. This is so tiny. I need to get bigger ones. I don't know if you can see that. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to get it into focus. Okay, so it is the Judgment. Well, here's the thing. It is a time when people can be very, very highly judgmental, especially when they're trying to get their points across. And this is also a time where I think you can feel the most different. And there we have a little crown that is encased. So let's see what it's encased in. Oh, this just makes me think of Mexico. I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but I think of people in power and the Latino population. Don't know why. Oh, and it came out. Maybe arguing, fighting, striving to break free from a position of authority or power over you. Kind of weird. Okay. We have the... Okay, sorry, I don't know how long that was out of focus. Okay, so we have the, here, I'm going to do this and see if I can get it to go into focus. All right, perfect. So we have the little feather here. Whenever I think of this, I think of the desire to be free. There's a lot of stuff about being free right now, breaking free. I think of feather too as communication because birds represent messages as well. We have another bird here. I don't know why my camera is being so drama right now. Okay. Oh, the little partridge, so cute. Ooh, and the star, we have the star. The star represents, you get a wish on the star. Every time we get a star in any type of reading, it's you guys get to make a wish. So make a wish for something you want for your future success. That's going to be really important right now. So you guys get to make that wish and just really intend it. This full moon is about bringing, you're releasing obstacles, negative things, negative energy, so you can bring forth energy, so you can move toward your new moon. So make a wish and do some intending. Okay, we have here, we have give a girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world, Marilyn Monroe. I keep getting this for some reason. I have tons of these saying, and I keep getting this one. So some of you just may want to stand out. I do think she really stood out. She was very different. She challenged a lot of people's comfort zones around femininity and the way that women worked. She was a sex symbol. She did really spend an entire life not being appreciated. And that was a struggle for me to hear about her life. Okay, so you have the Six of Clubs here. So that's the Six of Wands. So that could be some recognition, some success after you go through this. It could be a small victory of some kind. We have two crowns here. So I'm feeling like people in authority, people who are running things, people who make the decisions, is going to be something where it's going to be either really frustrating for you or it's going to be what you're striving for, is to be a person who makes changes and has the level of authority to do so. I think, oh, there's like a cute, like if you can see it here, there's like this little flower, so darling. It has to do with a blossom opening up and manifesting its truest potential. But here you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I had such a great time doing your reading, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for choosing pile number 2, and you chose the Hanged Man. So the Hangman in astrology, well, the planet that represents the Hangman is Neptune. It's a very water-based energy, and if you can see this little kiddo here, he's just kind of doing his own thing, marching to his own drum. He is intentionally hanging upside down, which is the whole point of the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is in numerology, it's number 12. And the number 12 is 1 + 2 = 3. And so we have the individual, and then we have 2, we have others, or a significant relationship. It's also about being in harmony. It's about dualism, or being dualistic. It's about balancing. It's about diplomacy, and it's very spiritually driven card that you have chosen. If you look here, look at these people. They're very judgmental. This kid is more like this spider hanging. I don't know if you can see, but there's a spider hanging here, and he's just hanging and chilling, right? And there's a message. You can see the dove coming to deliver a spiritual message. And this little kid is just hanging out, just chilling. And you can see the little spirit in this. There's like this little spirit guy is in every single deck. I mean, every single card. And he's just chilling right along with him. So you are being it's a very ordained time for you to get a message. It might be a time when you might be a little bit more on the introverted side. You might be a little bit more introspective. You might be taking some time to yourself. That might be really important to you guys right now. Oh, you have the nightingale as your spirit animal. So let's take a look at the synchronicities here. I'm going to get the Animal Spirit Guidebook. Nightingale. Okay. Fearless voice, speech, communication, or song. The song of the nightingale is otherworldly. This simple brown bird, almost unnoticeably among the flashy plumage of other birds, transports its listener to the realm of poetry. The nightingale energy is with us when we write, we compose, and especially when we sing. It reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds. This card indicates that there is a need to open the bridge between the heart and the voice. Is there something you need to say? How long has it been since you sang? Turn it up, write it down, and let it out. It's really pretty. Oh, I love that. I think of how unique the nightingale is in the bird kingdom, and how unique this thinker is in this particular pile. How unique you guys are. It looks like you guys kind of march to your own drum. You guys have a tendency to, when you need to take the time, you do it. But there is something beautiful that you need to embrace about you, a very unique quality. Okay. Just making sure we're still going, and we are. Okay. So what's the tea for the week for you guys? What is being focused on this week for you? Wealth. So the word wealth wealth is longevity. It's something that you attain, you build over a long period of time. It is a culmination of maybe a life's pursuit, a work, you've gained some success. But wealth is that feeling of abundance. And so that's what's being emphasized this week for you. Okay, so you have the carrot, opportunity or windfall. Ooh, I like seeing that along with wealth. Okay, so we have lily, spiritual love. And you have a very spiritual card here, and you have the voice of the nightingale. Okay. Okay, you have not. Unsuccessful plans. Okay. Might have a little, we do have a pretty big square, so there might be something that you were thinking it was going to go a specific way, and it didn't. And that is Uranus, a square in Uranus and Taurus that we have this full moon on the 3rd. It does bring about the unexpected, so that's kind of normal. Grasshopper situations in the balance that requires careful handling. I think of needing harmony, needing to look at two sides. It's great to embrace how unique and different you are, but you have to understand that you are being perceived by others. That came to mind. And then the gavel, involvement with the law. We have a lot going on that is creating policies that are going to be around for a very significant time. For some of you, this could be some sort of legal decision that has something to do with your financial security. There is a lot going on in general in laws that govern us and control us and restrict us. So that's on the table. It's very controversial. So some of you may need to take a break from that information. I'm kind of wanting to see. Okay, let's do this. Okay, alrighty. We have the 10th house is represented here. Whoops, right there. You can see it. Sorry, I'm trying to like look in the thing at the same time. Okay, then we have Sagittarius. Ooh, this is interesting energy. And we have Venus. So pile number 3 might be something you guys want to pay attention to, because pile number 3 does have Venus represented in it. Also, Venus is, so we have Venus, which is in Gemini, is moving into Cancer. And so you might just be a little bit more sensitive around your relationships, maybe the judgments of others. If you look at this card, I keep thinking of these people that are, this little girl really angry that he's just kind of hanging there. This looks like to be his father, very worried about him hanging out so close to, hanging upside down. But this could just like beat into its own drum. So could just be an area where, with Sagittarius is the area where we tend to wander off. We tend to look at the big picture. We tend to kind of like, if you're the hanged man, you're kind of trying to expand your point of view. But the 10th house has to do with career, life path, destiny, the path you're on, your purposeful living, that sort of stuff. It's going to be emphasized for you guys. So I'm going to put these over here. All right, so let's look at your soul card. Wow, what is impactful? This is soul cards 1. So what an impactful card. I think that this is, okay, so it makes me think of the Sagittarian energy that you guys got. And it makes me think of looking at something from a broader point of view, from a bigger perspective, from an area where, if you're looking at it from this elevated level, you can look down at the situation and you can see it like in its totality. And it could just be a very spiritual week for you. It could be a week where you are very enlightened, kind of on that next level. Your elevated mind could be more activated than that shallow, simplistic mind of the material realm where it's just very interactive. You might be looking at the big picture. You might be doing a lot of deep thinking. Yeah. Synchronicity, we have the 8 and we have the 7 represented. 7 is a kind of like a very intense number. It does have to do with things changing, and you're just about ready to go. Like we have the 8 and the 7 represented. So we have the energy that happens before the 8, but also this is like 15. And so, and that just, yeah, I can go all day on particular numbers, but we have the 8 and the 7 represented, and anytime you have the 8, you're looking at like a big change coming, but you're also looking at, I'm also thinking of the 8 and the 7, like there might be an imbalance and you're trying to get it in balance. And so synchronicities might help put things into perspective, might balance out the energy, might help you see the big picture. I'm kind of thinking it's definitely going to be important. You're going to get signs and synchronicity to kind of guide you, kind of like you're going to see things people probably aren't going to understand, but you are going to be able to tune into those. Okay, denial happens when we get into Neptune energy. So the hangman is represented by the planet that is Neptune, and I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with insight and awareness. Be careful when you are taking action this week that you aren't doing it in some sort of rose-colored way. That there are people, okay, so denial is so huge right now. It's so huge. Denial is probably one of the things I think that we're wrestling with the most. The denial to keep things the same, the denial that, things don't need to progress and change. The denial that we have a dysfunctional government system that is breaking down and that it is going to be irrevocably changed forever. People are striving and holding on to the falsehood around the fact that our government is a functioning government. on a world level as well, not just the US, but on a world level, all governments are like in this period of shakeup and awakening and dramatic change. And we are, to deny that reality, I think a lot of people are really trying to deny that reality right now that have a position of power, because it doesn't make you feel empowered when we're dealing with something where when you look at a situation and your first instinct is, that it's just, you're not trusting something for a specific reason, and then you like logically like people try to convince you to a specific agenda, and then it sways your opinion. That is you being in denial. I mean, you're given the signal, you're given the sign, you're given this message about how to move forward with this. But, because it's different and it's unique and it's, not maybe embraced by the collective, it could be difficult for you. And you might then want to try to deny that level of reality when in fact, Neptune is in Pisces. It's challenging every single area of your life where denial has taken a safe haven, an unhealthy haven. Okay, so the first thing we have is Palace of Swords. This can be an area where I'm feeling very much and just very guided to say that this is an area in life where I feel like where your ideas were welcome, where your ideas were understood at one point, where you might have been able to go along with the collective, but now I think that is all changing for you, very much so. I mean, it is changing on a whole different level for you, and you are expanding. There's not a lot of peace, I think, when I look at the Palace of Swords. The Palace of Swords is that material realm, but you're being guided on a spiritual level, and so it might be challenging the way that you've always thought about something, maybe. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords, and that is ruled by, wow, you have a lot going on mentally, guys. You have a lot going on. A lot of very important things are being challenged for you. That has to do with how you think. Has to do with the conversations that you have with others. I'm going to tell you right now, you may be being misunderstood this week. You may suffer from some misunderstandings. Somebody may not look at things from your perspective. That could be very frustrating. And, because we have this 10th house emphasized here, and you could get argumentative. It could be a place where you're very sensitive, hypersensitive about, you have a very unique way of looking at things. So just be very mindful of that. And then we have the Page of Coin. It's something that you're learning a lot about how to interact, how to deliver ideas, how to communicate something that's different, or like a unique idea, or maybe a different mindset. You're learning how to communicate about that. You're learning how to pull it back and ground it so that you can bring forth that idea without it threatening the comfort zones of others. That's what I see right now. I mean, we have a full moon in Aquarius that is in a square with Uranus and Taurus. People are going to be very sensitive. You may be a little harsh. You may be a little bit too blunt for people this week. You may see things very clearly, but you have to convince and work with and help others see things the way that you see things. Remember, the goal here is to have a wealth. It could be a wealth of you may have a wealth of information that is really pertinent to a situation, but this to me is just very rigid thinking. Okay, so we have Judgment. Oh, okay. Be careful of how your words and the way that you're judging situations and how blunt you are with delivering those words. You have a very critical eye right now with all these swords in reverse. Just be very mindful of your words, okay? We have Page of Swords. there's a lot having to do with the material realm, the interactions in your material realm, the words that you're using, the conversations that you're having. You have a lot you do have some learning to do. You may think you know it all, but you don't. I think that there's some pieces of information that through reflection and through embracing some very unique thinking, you might be enlightened, and it might help you look at the big picture. Okay, so we have the 3 of Wands here. 3s indicate to me, the number 3 is, you have 3 different directions you can go. That suggests an imbalance. So what you're trying to do is to not be in extremes. You're trying to choose the middle ground, the most harmonious, the most level-headed. So I'm feeling like conversations, it may be one person on one side, one person on the other side, but you want to pull it into the middle and understand both perspectives so you can communicate effectively. I feel like communication is huge for you right now. Page of Cups. This is a learning experience for you. This week will teach you a lot. And yeah. I mean, you definitely have a unique way of doing things. You might be a little in the feels. You might find it very, very difficult because of the Hanged Man, Neptune, water energy. Venus is moving, Venus in Gemini is moving into Cancer. You might be a little bit more sensitive around your relationships right now. You have something to learn this week. Something that you need to bring into balance, and it needs to be more harmonious. Being unique and different is great, but having people accept that. If somebody is very critical with you, don't just defend your position and get all argumentative about it. You might have to teach them how to accept you or accept your level of thinking, or to have a conversation about it. Ooh, you got the Devil. The Devil is Capricorn energy. It is, and then if you just add the Devil, so it's a major arcana, so it's number 15, it's 6 if you were to add it together. So then that to me suggests, 2 ways of looking at this, 2 ways of dealing with this. I'm a little concerned with the fact that we have the Devil and we have the Hanged Man, which represents Neptune. That is a place where, and we have denial. This could be a place where you fall into some very tough patterns this week to cope. Mentally, this might be a little bit of a tough week for you. And so you may fall into coping methods that are a little bit on the self-destructive side, because mentally you may feel a little bit overwhelmed. We do have your swords in reverse. A lot's being challenged for you this week. And the temptation of the Devil card is that, you're gonna want to escape that. Oh my gosh, we have the World though. I love that the World is showing up, because if you just look at the big picture, if you just look at this from an elevated level, and you really embrace this Hanged Man energy, and you really embrace, the Soul card here. I think of these cards right here, guys. Okay. I think of these cards, if you can just look at it from this level. Okay. If you look at it from the bigger perspective, if you pull back, if somebody gets you wound up, or somebody gets you excited, or you're just feeling like you're standing out, you're being too unique, people aren't embracing your ideas, they're being too critical, pull back and just align with this, because this is a completion of a cycle for you. This is something where you're embracing it in its totality, and look for the signs this week to help guide you through this week, because this looks like a pretty emotional week for you. All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, compassion. Well, the Hanged Man and Neptune, I think of Neptune and Pisces right now. We do have, some pretty intense, we have a beautiful trine in Pisces with this with Mercury in Cancer and a trine with Neptune and Pisces as it moves into Leo. This is a time where I think maybe going out, having a good time, being loving and compassionate to others. It might be hard for you to be in a state where you might be the one looking at the big picture and everybody else might be being judgmental and harsh and drama about your choices, which may make you want to escape because, you know, but just have some compassion for people right now. The world is a hot mess. There's a lot of energy out there. People are really feeling the energy. And so having love and compassion will bring love and compassion to you. Helping people to embrace looking at things not from just your perspective, but from other people's perspective will help them embrace your unique thinking, is what I think of as well. And we have sovereignty. Aww. You know, there comes a time in everybody's life where you stand out in such a way that it feels a little bit more alone and somewhat isolating and somewhat, you just feel like you stand out. You feel like, you know, you're just so unique in that thinking that even if you did try to explain to people, they would be critical of it. And I think of that because I think of, where did I see it? Oh, the Judgment card. That's what I thought of. And then we have Burial Ground. This is a very spiritual card, by the way. This is a connection to spirit. I know because I've read it before. It's a connection to something, to our ancestors, to the other word, to the spiritual realm. I think of how spiritual these cards are, how elevated these cards are, how you get signs and signals from the universe from something not of this world. I would say something that is from a messenger from above, from spirit, from your guides, whatever you deem that to be. But I will read Burial Ground just because it's a really beautiful. Okay, so we have Burial Ground. The burial ground is a place of memory, a monument to those who have come before us, and a reminder of our own futures. Its connection to death is not one to be feared, but embraced. Death is a transition, not an ending. The sacred place where the burial ground provides a meeting place, or meeting ground for place and spirit. Among the standing stones, we dance with the dead and other kin and spirits of place, if we dare. But we must be cautious not to lose track of our own path and release our ties with this earthly realm, for it is not yet our time to reside outside of it. I'm thinking of, I just got the most intense feeling. I'm thinking of when we disconnect from our reality and we are embracing the way that our future was always supposed to be going in, like our life path, because of the full moon in Aquarius. And you know, Aquarius energy is astrology. It's like not of this world. It's something that is so hard to understand. But I think of as we receive in this energy and as we deal with having a connection to spirit, you know, I also think of the Hanged Man here, like just a connection to spirit. It challenges our reality and can make us feel vulnerable and fearful, but there is nothing to fear because you guys got the burial ground. There is nothing to fear except for the fact that we want to maintain everything the way that we think it should be. And that in itself can create some unnecessary fear. So I'm going to put these over here. Let's go ahead and get our letters. Okay. All right, let's see what we have, guys. We better have vowels because I'm going to go in again if we don't have vowels because I can't live that way. Ooh, but I saw this immediately. We have tea. The tea of the week. Oh, as I spell it wrong. I immediately saw tea. So for you, this tea appears and be very important. The tea portion of this reading. Because, you know, the tea of the week is wealth, is to feel wealthy and abundant and happy and grounded and to feel secure, I think is really important. Spiritual love, I see that card. And it's okay if you have some unsuccessful plans. Sometimes it's okay to have disappointment. It changes things and we're being guided. So like whatever doesn't work out this week, you're being guided on a spiritual level to have a different kind of way of thinking. I get these cues and I don't, like a cue. I think of a cue, get a cue. You know what I'm saying? Like, things will, it'll cue, the energy will cue you up to activate when you need to activate action or do anything moving forward. Oh, I don't even have phase. Okay. This is just not an easy pile. Kin. So we had the ancestors, well, we had this card. So kin, family is going to be pretty important. I thought we might have knight, but we didn't. Late. So it's kind of funny when you have Neptune, because Neptune's in Pisces, and I think of Pisces. I just think about how late you can tend to get late, distracted by things this week, and you might make you late. Oh, I don't have an O. Okay. Tiny. Well, I mean, maybe feeling tiny, maybe feeling, you know, like insignificant. Maybe you need to pull out from that mentality and try to understand that this tiny little bird has that big voice. I see that a little bit. Lint. It's so funny. I thought of belly button lint and then I thought removal. I don't know why. That's nasty. I know, but I'm sorry. Oh, I think of, oh, I have kite here. Flying like a kite. I see this as well, like the elevation. If you look at things from a higher perspective, from a bigger perspective, that definitely explains that for sure. Oh, here's another one. Being in your own lane. Yeah, you guys are marching to your own little drum. I think of the sovereignty. You're marching to your own drum here, guys. You're going to stand out. You're going to be a little bit unique and different this week. That's okay. That's what this full moon in this week is all about, is just embracing that place where we stand out, our differences. You know, it's okay to be different. I watched a thing with President Bush when he did the eulogy, and he had said, you know, it's okay to be different. It's okay for us to not think the same. I mean, to embrace different ideas is the whole point, because it makes you think of things in a different perspective. I mean, we don't all have to, I mean, we have to come to an agreement. Our differences have to be come to an agreement, but you have to be able to look at something from somebody else's perspective. We have 5 this week. That's change. That can be loss. That can be a little bit of disappointment. We have 70. If you were to add it together, it'd be 7. We did, you know, we had this 7 up here. So we do know that you're getting ready to make a change because that's before the 8s. We have 67 here. And we have 68 here. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and look at your charms. See what you guys got today. Or for the week. What was I thinking? Okay. I think of this as like losing something, like not being understood. There's not a pair of it, it's singular. I don't know why I thought of that. Like if you lost a piece of jewelry, like if you lost the other earring. That's what I was thinking of when I saw that. Ooh, you guys get a wish too. And you know what? I really dug. And we got these in pile number 1. Okay, so we got, again, I kept feeling like a message. But we also just got this star. And anytime you guys get a star in my reading, then guess what? You guys get to make a wish. And I think that in the Hanged Man, the wish is like a really beautiful, you need to wish for something that is, it's not attainable, it's unusual, it's something that you dream of. It's something that you want, that it's not based on your reality, but based on just a want and a pure desire. Oh, you got the moon here. I also think of all this watery energy, but I also think of the fact that we are having this full moon. And, you know, as we moved up to this, you might have got a signal. I'm feeling like you got a signal of like what this was supposed to have meant up to the full moon, because it was like that. And then look at this little cute little rattle. This makes me think of like when you were a kid, having that mentality of like when you were a kid. See, yeah, this just makes me think of something childhood, something like an innocence of a child, something like wanting something from like when you were a child. I have to have a drink here. Sorry about this. Okay. Oh, and then we have a little shell here, and then we had the moon. So yeah, definitely in the watery energy, guys. You have Neptune and Pisces here. You have Neptune's energy, and it's a water-based energy. So you're in the feels. This is going to be great energy, but I feel like if you get in the feels, then you start to get these synchronicities from the universe. You start to look at things from a bigger perspective. You start to be guided in a very cool way. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And this is your reading for the week, and I will see you guys again next week. Hi guys, thank you for choosing pile number 3, and we got my favorite freaking card. We got the Empress, and so you are going to be working with the number 3 this week, and the number 3 is just relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions. It has to do with communication, the way that you help other people embrace who they are and gain acceptance and to be accepted as well is part of your energy. Also, when we hit a number 3, what we deal with, a 3 and a 3, so funny. Plus, she's just my favorite woman. Like, look at her. She's like all about the love, the hugs, acceptance. She's all about family, helping people grow and manifest what they want in their physical realm. Sorry, my bracelet is just totally bugging me. Okay. And she is just very accepting and loving. Like, look at that. You can feel the love. Like, she's got the heart over her head. So she's just all heart, right? So this is about, we have Venus and Gemini is going to be moving into Cancer. So the full moon for you is going to be really emphasizing on what your heart wants most. And I think for many of us, that could be, you know, it's just some peace and some calmness in our home. There's a big square that's going to be happening in Neptune and Pisces. And so this is just, you know, a need to make things like up this picture, you know, just feeling comfortable, feeling happy, feeling fulfilled in your home and family life is going to be super important for you, and in your relationships and your bonds, any bonds you have. It's going to be really important to you this week. It's going to be emphasized. Also, going after what your heart really desires. We have all this Leo energy, so I'm feeling like the heart is really invested this week in giving you what you want. Also, anytime the Empress comes up, she will help everything grow. She's a great archetype for your week, so she will help growth happen in your life, if you want to intend it, if you fill it with really, if you want hope in your life, and you want to intend that hope to grow, then she's a great archetype to really focus on, because she really can help things manifest in the material realm. Venus is the material. Okay, you have the deer emphasized here, and that is in earth energy. So let's take a look at the deer. Okay, so we have the deer, loving, intuitive, graceful, the mother. Oh my gosh, and you have the mother Earth. Like, wow, mother is really emphasized in your reading. Also, Cancer energy. Venus going into Cancer is the mother in astrology as well. So a feminine, nurturing mother is emphasized in this energy. So the deer represents the feminine aspects of earth energy. This energy is available to all creatures regardless of gender, but it's especially potent in its new parents. During this first few days, they are fully present, nurturing, and calm. Their inner beauty radiates. A sense of grace calms the room. A deer personality affects others in this way, drawing them toward the quiet and tenderness. The deer card may appear when a birth or a celebration of a new life draws near, or when a situation calls for absolute gentleness and compassion. I do think of how beautiful, like, and peaceful the deer are. I think it's a great time to help inner peace grow, to help peaceful situations manifest in your family and in your closest bonds and unions. It's going to be really important for you. You need to be compassionate. People are going to be very mentally sensitive. There's a lot going on, challenging places where we get to feel secure. And, going home to a loving mother's arms, if you don't have a mother, use the archetype of Mother Earth or of the Empress here. She's sitting there with willing spirit to give you a big hug and to help things grow and to nurture and to give you, that embrace that you need to help embrace this new time. This time that isn't very calm, right? You have the deer and the Empress, asking you to embrace love and security and, those things that make us feel very, very calm. So it's going to be important for you to use, not get caught up in the fury and the firestorm of the world, but to be more in a simplistic mentality, I would think, a much more grounded approach to this life. So what's your tea for the week? Oh my gosh, you guys got love. Look, above her head, above her head, she's got the heart, and you guys have love. Well, this season is all about love. I mean, Leo season is all about your heart and your love and and heart-based endeavors and heart-based energy. And so, you're really wanting to embrace, the good things in life, the things that make you feel excited and passionate and loving and warm. That's what I feel. Okay, so you guys have ear. Good news. Oh, I love you guys are going to get some good news. There has been some great news this week. This full moon in Aquarius has really progressed a lot of people's lives that I know. I saw a lot of people get promotions. I saw a lot of people go off. They're going to go off and go to school. A lot of people within these last couple weeks are getting good news about their future. It challenges a comfort zone because it's a life like you've always had. So there's a bit of fear attached to this brand new start in life. But I feel like a lot of people is getting some very good news about progression. So this is the torch: spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. Oh yeah. This is a very awakening time. We have this full moon in Aquarius in a square with Uranus and Taurus. So this is a very, very woke time. This is like one of those times that opens up your third eye, releases you from energy where you're stuck and rigid and you can't, I don't know. It's a place where you have to embrace your future and not get consumed by your past anymore. So you have the Valley, deep personal strength and peace that assures success. Ooh, and she makes everything grow. And then you guys are getting, there's so much love. So if you really want to attach to a high vibe and energy, and you want this week to go really well, and you don't want to get caught in the firestorm that this week can be, there's a lot of energy right now in negativity. Really, really embrace just love, positivity, growth, happiness. Do whatever it takes to stay calm and to love and nurture yourself. There's a lot of self-care that's necessary this month. This is a little bit of a selfish time for you because you guys really want to embrace the good, and life is going to try to drag you into the negativity, but don't let it, because you have a very beautiful week if you stay positive. Parrot, someone will gossip about all your secrets. Okay. You know, when you're in a high vibe, and somebody's in a low vibe, they love to try to drag you down. Don't let that week happen. That happen this week for you. That means somebody's jealous of your success. They're jealous of your life, and jealousy is huge. I mean, we have a square in Taurus right now. And so when Taurus energy is in a negative energy, it is about being jealous and insecure and not and somebody else wanting what you have. You have Venus represented here. You have the goddess Venus, and the goddess Venus is abundant and giving, and you know, somebody may be jealous about how pretty you are, or about something you want, or something that they wish they had that you have. It could be kind of petty crap like that. Don't let that go down in your day. Embrace your blessings, embrace your lights, and don't let anybody dim that light this week. And then we have Egg. Success assured with good plans and hard work. Okay, so what we need to do is to stay out of this negative vibe, is you need to just nurture your life like you would an egg. Like, there's a delicate balance that you need to maintain here to stay in a good vibe this week. And it's really important that you plan ahead, that you make sure that everything is perfect as you can make it, like, cross your T's, dot your I's type of thing. And just be very, very engaged in getting things done. I think of her too as like house cleaning. I think of getting her home in order. I think of attending to things around the home is very important. I just see being grounded too. Being very present in the material realm. Don't be so ethereal in your thinking. Oh, well, this is just Pisces energy all over the place. I mean, look at this. You have 3 fish represented. She's a 3. That's very interesting. But I also think as above, so below. I think of as above, so below. And then I think of how it's impacting you. Kind of like, that's what I see as well. But I also think of this as being maybe somewhat underwater in your emotions. We have an imbalance here in emotions, so be very mindful of your emotions. This is Soul Cards 1. And just, you might be more emotional than normal this week as well. I can see that for you. Okay, we have 13 effort. We have 1 + 3, that's 4. So effort meaning stability. So I do think of your home and family. And when I think of a 4, I think of just home, family, being secure, stable, having things be reliable. It is going to help calm all of this very intense energy that is going to be going on in Cancer. This Venus energy. This square that's going to be going down has everything. I think if you just stay busy, if you really just, really shine some light in the material realm, you really put some effort into your circumstances, like really be present in them, and really and not get so hung up in wanting to escape your reality, but you actually put forth effort into your reality. I think that you can see that this number, it also has a 1 and a 3, so it has everything to do with you staying in balance, because 3 is that it's a very spiritual number. So you want to be very, very careful of, you want to have this individual experience. You want to have this experience in ego, but you also want it to be aligned with spirit. I don't know. I can go to town on that number, so we don't need that no more. But I'm going to do this first. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. I like this. I like that you're taking the power is in your hands, that you completely understand it. We're putting forth effort. We're being very conscious of where we're at. The as above, so below thinking. Also, deers have very good instincts. They have that ability to sense something. It's like you don't know how they sense that you're there, but they just look up and they know that you're there. I feel you being very, very sensitive to things in your environment. But very wet. It's very guided this week for sure. Okay, I'm gonna see what our planets are doing. Okay. Dang it. My hands are like, I'm just not gonna help out with you today. Just not gonna do it. Here, let me just do this really quick. I just like to make sure these are all like very, very mixed up, because now they've went through 2 piles. And synchronicities, I like to know that they are truly guided. Synchronicities. Okay. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands. It is the beginning of action. It is movement. It is something that initiates the desire to take action. It is something that is, if you see this volcano in the background, it's like an event or something that triggers the need to take action. This is Leo season, so it's all fire, guys, and so it's definitely I definitely understand that need to want to take action right now. Okay, and then we have Mercury and Cancer. We have a 3 of Cups energy here. We have 3 represented in the Empress. We definitely had 3 represented up here. So when I see a 3, especially in Mercury energy, I think of options. I think of the fact that you have kind of like your past or your present, and then you have your past or your future, and then you have your present, and present being emphasized in this card. That's what I see. I also think of the tendency to be weighing the past and the present to determine what you want. I mean, the past and the future to determine what you want presently. But this card, to me, just, I don't know why it's saying be present. Be present and be very attentive to your physical realm. Take actions that create positive movement to assure the success that's in here. You have the torch emphasized here as well. And we have the fire and the torch. We have two fire-based energies here. And so spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. I feel like being more present and taking actions is going to really emphasize something that's really important to the material realm, but also important to fire-based energy and happiness and your soul's purpose. Okay. Okay, we have the next card, which is we have the 4 of Coins, and this is in Capricorn energy. So this is, I feel like this is just a challenge right now. I do see the 4 here. 1 plus 3 is 4. I see 4 here. 4 emphasizes the need for stability. But this card is in a fear-based, it's fear-based. So this is directly, something in your material realm is directly threatening your sense of security. You're feeling like you're secure, you're okay, your finances are okay, your job is okay, your career is going in the right direction. The Empress can help you. Whenever I see her in a reading, I feel like she is like this mothering energy trying to nurture you through your week. Like she is trying to make sure that the right things grow in your week. She's the arms, the open arms, and the love and the acceptance that you need. Some of you may feel very isolated, alone in a struggle in the material realm. And again, you might be feeling a little below water here. Might have something to do with your freedom of choice right now. Like you might be feeling like I possess the power to be free and the free will to create my own happiness. Maybe you are feeling like you don't have power and control over that ability to create your own happiness. That, you know, maybe the financial concerns of the world are making you feel like you don't have the power to create the success and the wealth that you want in your life. Let's get some clarifying cards on the table here. Oh, dang, I hate this card, and I really messed it up. I hate this card. When I get it in a reading, I like shuffle, so I never see it again, but she always comes up. So 8 of Swords here. Get out of your head. Every time I see this card, I think just get out of your head. Change is coming. Accept it. Accept that things, you know, that all these worries and all these fears that you have, they're in your head. They're not you. The action that you're being guided to take is something that is going to take you in a different direction. And you have to get out of your head about every worry or everything insecurity that you have about learned past-based things, or, you know, learned responses to things. You know, like when we go through a couple tough lessons, we learn that, you know, it's like sometimes if like you fell in love with somebody and then, you know, you had a tough relationship. It's like going into another relationship, you bring all this stuff into it, all these fears, this learned response. So I'm feeling like it's like a learned response to something. Like you're used to being disappointed if you take action, and you're just nervous about doing that. That's just something that is like hella coming up in your reading. We got the Queen of Wands. She's like one of my favorite cards in this deck. Oh, look at her energy. Look at her. She's just embracing her own inner freaking fire. She just doesn't care. She's just out there. She just doesn't care what anybody thinks, how anybody wants to respond to her. She's crazy confident. She's secure. I love her energy. And I feel like if you can embrace who you are, warts and all, your differences, your strengths, your weaknesses, if you can go out there and know that you have something special to give, and if you're being intuitively guided to go out there and just shine, just let your fire be known, like get all fired up and go out there and make the change that you are going to make. If you just don't get in your head, get in your heart. Like use your heart-based energy this week to get like out of your head. I mean, a full moon in Aquarius, it is in opposition with the sun in Leo. It's an opposition. It's not a square. So this is a push for you to get out there and just to be you, uniquely you, different, and just embrace it. People will accept you for who you are if you are authentic and you love yourself and you embrace who you are. Oh, you got the High Priestess. I think of the High Priestess, I think of this deer here. Just very, very intuitive, guys. Very perceptive. If you feel, I want to say, if you feel like somebody's talking about you, working behind your back, if you feel like somebody doesn't have your back, you go up there and you charm you just charm them. Charm the situation. It's with, if you look at it, come midweek, it's with your Three of Cups here. Okay, so it's with your Three of Cups. So you have the ability to be very tuned into your environment come midweek. And you are going to be receiving a big download about that, because when the High Priestess shows up, she's given you a download. She is divinely guiding you through this week. And then you have the Empress. So there's something big where I think you're going to have a turning point, a kind of mentally, where you just are trying to make something grow, trying to embrace who you are, and just moving forward with it, because it's what you're divinely guided to be moving forward with. We had this in pile number 2. We had the Knight of Swords. Guys, this just means that it's time to take action. you know, this could be having a conversation. If you are intuitively being guided to have a conversation with somebody, you know, like if you, like let's say you are interested in starting a conversation with somebody, re-engaging with somebody. If you are kind of like, I don't know, just don't be afraid to go out there and put yourself out there and to go after somebody you want. You know, if you want to reconnect with somebody, reconnect with somebody. I mean, if that's what you're being intuitively guided to do. Also, if you are being guided to have some conversations with somebody right now, I would follow your gut for sure. You have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man was actually in pile number 2. So pile number 2 is very connected to pile number 3 for certain. This is a very spiritual moment for you. You know, this is a very divinely guided moment. This is a time where you're creating balance and harmony in your life, where you're balancing the material realm and the physical realm at the same time. So stop your worrying about the chaos in the world, the mess of the world. Pull back and concentrate on the fact that this has something to do with, this is an internal experience for you. I feel like this is more self focused for sure. I mean, we have the sun in Leo, so of course it's the sun. I mean the self. We have the 8 of Cups and you have the 8 of Swords. So change, guys. You're leaving stuff in the past. You're changing. You're moving forward. You're embracing this time in your life. You are going to be doing things differently, and that can make you feel like a fish out of water. I kind of got that vibe. Okay, that's okay. We want to embrace any energy where progression is on the table, because right now, a full moon in Aquarius, squaring off with Uranus in Taurus, it's going to be a place where we're really sensitive to, we're really sensitive about, you know, it's like a place where we're very, I don't know, it's like all of our senses are firing off and we're really super activated over. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of your oracle cards here. We have well-being. I think some of you may have to just, you guys need a big hug. You guys need a little loving and some hugs and just some extra care, okay? You guys just need this in your life right now. Relationships, bonds, partnerships, and unions is going to be really important for you to have some peace. This moon is going to be really charged for you. You're going to feel it. So you just want to be very mindful of, you know, that feeling that you get when you get a pretty big download, you know? Every time I feel like I get really buzzed in, or I start I start seeing synchronicities, or I start seeing a pattern of numbers, or if I think of like, if I keep picking the same cards in my readings or something like that, and I feel like I'm being incredibly divinely guided, it can be a little bit scary, because you know that you're just being worked with individually, instead of on this like astrology level where everybody's being inundated with the same energy, processing it all differently, but you know, inundated with the same energy. So I'm just gonna put this stuff over here. Okay, so we're gonna put that right here. I also think of how important it is for you guys to have just some very mind, body, spirit. It's going to be to balance mind, body, spirit. It's going to be very important in this energy. You're very sensitive in this energy. Challenge. It's going to be, this is a challenging time, guys. When we're being asked to change a lot of our comfort zones, and we're being asked to accept new ideas, and we're being subjected on a very nauseating level to negativity and to people who are struggling with their differences and their egos, and you know, they can't balance out the power right now, and you know, they feel like they have no power, and so they're combative and combustible. The challenge is for you to be able to maintain mind, body, spirit, and to be, you know, in a space where you don't start to feel like this guy, where you don't start to feel like, you know, everything is falling apart and you're not secure in anything anymore. I mean, the past is we're moving toward the future, whether we want to or not. I mean, there's no way around it. And we have inspiration. Oh, it's so pretty. Let me get the card for that. This is the Gateway Luminal Experiences, or Spirits, excuse me. I don't know why. Okay, so inspiration, guys. See if these are in the same shot. Sorry, I never know how to do this. Okay, so there are things that come to us by way of nature and nurture. And then there is spirit of inspiration, not bound by blood or upbringing. We could be stirred by ideas outside our comfort zones and common knowledge. Inspiration is often what fuels self-expression, taking form through art, dance, theater, writing, craft, and design. It throws in the ingredients of our world along with a splash of past lives and spirits, and then stirs them in this mighty cauldron and presents us with a brew that is often life-changing. Coincidences are rare. More often than not, the universe is sending us a message. Pay attention to the pattern that is being created to catch your eye and grab hold of the thread. There is a great potential of opportunity ahead for you. Be more open to experimentation. It's essential for growth, and we must allow for change, for deviation from the performed ideas in our heads. Yeah. I think of combining ingredients and creating, you know, like the perfect dish. That's what I'm thinking of. I know that sometimes you can like go into your cupboard and there could be like, you feel like you have nothing to cook, and then you just like pull a bunch of stuff out of your cupboard, you cook it, and then it's like the best freaking meal you ever had, and you don't even remember how you made it because it was just like random things that are in your cupboard. I think the randomness of the universe and the random energy that is going on right now is the cauldron for inspiration. It's the right herbs and spices and blends that and food that make us create that perfection. It feels chaotic. It feels insane. This is a time of great change. I mean, you had two cards. Let's see here. It's coming. We had two cards of 8s here. And that just means a lot of change, a lot of, deviation from a place where we wanted to go, but it changed direction. It went a different way. We have this full moon in Aquarius and this square with Uranus and Taurus this week. And then we have the sun in Leo. It is in a square with Uranus and Taurus as well. And then we have Mercury that's in Cancer that's moving into Leo in a square with Uranus and Taurus. Like we have Venus and Gemini in a square with Neptune and Pisces. Oh my gosh. Then we have Mars in Aries, which is in a square with Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. We have a lot of squares, shoves, pushes, angles that are making us progress and move forward, whether we want to or not. It is a shove from the universe. And so that feels very powerless and very upsetting. But girl, you gotta know. I mean, girl, guy, you guys gotta know it's going down. It's going down for you to get your life going in a direction that you want it to go down in. Look at this thing from a bigger scale. Let's not get so consumed with the world, this physical realm that's so tangible. Let's look at this from the big picture and try to understand that whatever's going down right now, it's not a threat. It's not threatening anything. It's progression, and progression is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Okay. All right, guys. So let's pull these aside a little bit. Okay. And let's see what words for the weeks we have. I don't think we did our dice. Oh, we have 9. Now, remember I was saying about that elevated thinking, that leveling up, that looking at things from the big, broad perspective. The 9th house is the elevated mind. We have Aries energy. That's sense of self. So that's that Mars and Aries. It's in a trine with the sun. So for some of you, this could be about, just getting back on track with love and the things and attracting the things you want. It can also mean you have a square with Mercury in Cancer, a square with Jupiter in Capricorn, which is in retrograde, a square with Saturn in Capricorn, which is in retrograde, and a square with Pluto in Capricorn, which is in retrograde. This has to do with the direction that your life is going in, and how it's directly impacting you. Your career, life path, destiny is on the line here, and you have the sun zeroing in. We have the sun in Leo, focusing on our soul's purpose, on our purposeful way that we live our lives, how we shine in the world, what we radiate, what we attract to us is being emphasized for you. Okay, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to grab these few. Okay. Oh, I need to take a drink. All this talking makes me just have to take a drink. What time are we at? Oh, 33 minutes. I talk too much. But there's so much to say when you talk astrology and tarot and charms and like everything. It's like too many. We got one that can be anything. I love those ones. Okay. So immediately I thought of pug. I love pugs. I love them so much. And then we have mug. A good mug of beer, man. Coffee mug. Oh, I love my DIY. It's funny, just do it yourself. A project, something that you're working on that's kind of super independent. I'm getting a lot of like stuff just right away. Let's see, what do we have here? I thought of break, because this can be anything. Lucky break. I also thought of just these 8s where you're just breaking the mold, doing things a different way, breaking, the monotony. I thought of 2. No, I can't. I don't know. I felt like that, but like, is there anything that goes with that? Nope. Oh, I know what I think of. Brave. Takes a lot of bravery to go along in this little world, this little messed up world that we're living in right now. Dealing with this crap in our heads, having this hanged man kind of moment, getting this kind of download. You gotta be brave, man, to live this life right now. Some of you could be at peaks. I want to talk about that because, this can feel very like you're at a peak, an emotional threshold, a threshold of some kind. So when we get to the peak, just know that we're downhill from the top of the peak. So just know that this could be just a very intense time. But as we move forward and we actually work out this progression through the end of the year, understand that we're at a peak of crisis. Like it does get better. You know what I'm thinking of too? Like, I don't know why, but I'm thinking of. Oh, do I not even have that? Oh, I guess I can't. God, I thought of cake. I'm hungry. Or bake. I might be a little hungry. Because I haven't ate breakfast this morning and I immediately just went into this reading. Because I just want to get it done. I'm trying to get it on time for once in my freaking whole life. I think of... fave, kind of like, what's your favorite things? I think of faves, I think of this too right here, guys. I think of keep, well, some of you may be striving to keep things, you know, keep a handle on things, to you may be struggling with things, keeping things the same, but we're in a time of progression. There's no keeping things the same. We're you know, in a time where we're being challenged. Okay, so I'm gonna let this sit for a minute, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do our numbers to see if we have any synchronicities in numbers. I'm getting tired of talking. Okay, we have 8. Oh, right here, dude. There he is. Okay. Think 8s are being emphasized for you? I mean, at all? Like, what just happened? Like, time to change, my friends. Or changes on the horizon for you. We got 71 and another 8. I can't. Shut the front door. Dude, no, another 8. I can't. Oh, it's just too funny. We have 9. That can be a culmination and ending. You know, you're done. And things will never be the same, but it's also 90. 4, 2, 6, you know. 6, I think of 2 3s. I think of the balance, the need for balancing and harmonizing this energy is definitely necessary. Keeping things out of extreme. I think of attraction. I think of, oh, dude, that was funny. Okay, so let's just say that 8 is on the agenda for you, my friends. Like, with the front door. Okay. Let's dig. I want to dig deep. Okay. All right. That's what I got. All right. So we got, whoops. Here, sorry. I almost lost it. I got Sagittarius. I do think of a Sagittarius, how things moving forward, doing something different, expanding your boundaries comes to mind with Sagittarius energy. I think of the elevated mind being activated with Sagittarius. I think of 9th, you got the 9th house. So Sagittarius is the 9th house. Very interesting. We got the palm tree here. I think of how resilient a palm tree, how they grow in deserts, how they're such beautiful trees, but how the extreme environment that they grow in is very significant for me. Okay, I am thinking cross. One of the things that I have been noticing, and this is just a synchronicity for me, is how many people have died lately. How many major people who implemented things for long periods of times, who held positions of power, how all of them are dying. I think it's spirit, God's way, whatever you deem that to be, of making room for something new. When something dies, something is reborn. And so I do think of that. I think of a time where this tests our faith in things, faith in everything out there in the world. Oh, the acorn. So I love, sorry, I'm going to do that. There we go. The acorn. Gosh dang it. What are you doing now? There we go. Sorry. I just think of the acorn. The acorn has a really interesting thing because the acorn creates one of the most magnificent trees out there. From a tiny acorn, from this small, like, where did I see it? From this energy, where the seed is born, where it roots, where it takes root, where it starts to develop, it turns into one of the strongest, most reliable trees out there. So just know that this is strengthening a time, that weakness. It's being born in weakness, but it is to strengthen us. Okay. And then we have just some health related stuff. Okay, so, sorry, I'm trying to bring that into focus. Okay. I'm trying to bring this back into focus. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm not going to be an alarmist here, but I am just seeing some very intense energy around death tolls. Yeah, you guys might need some hugs. You guys might need, it's going to be, the reality is going to be a tough world, and basically simplifying it. And family is going to be really important to you. Love, kindness. You're going to want to nurture positive energy. I'm okay. So I don't mean to be disrespectful, because we're talking about the positivity sometimes, but death makes room for the rebirth of something. And so I'm really physically upset about the death toll. Resurgent, a health crisis. It feels like it's gonna get worse this week. We're gonna get some bad news. Crap. Yeah. Okay. Well, the good news is that when things get serious, that is when, and if there's enough pain attached to something, it is when we start to make these changes that are necessary in the world. So on a global level, I'm sorry, I kind of connected to a little bit of global energy. I apologize for that. We do need to change some things badly. We need to have a big change. That's all I got to say about that. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And just go out there and be the change that you want to see in the world, okay? Love you guys. Bye-bye.